A woman is a full circle. She holds the power to create, nurture, transform, and to accomplish that which man cannot. Alhamdulillah, today I, Azra Sheikh, had the privilege of discussing the role of women in India with Director and Professor Azra Musavi from the Advanced Center of Women's Studies, Aligarh Muslim University.
Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Walaikum salam.
Ma'am, can you please share your academic journey towards the Director and Professor of Women's Studies Department?
ये बड़ी रैंडम एकेडमिक जर्नी रही है. सो फ्रॉम साइंस बैकग्राउंड ग्रेजुएशन मैंने इकोनॉमिक्स से किया और मास्टर्स भी इकोनॉमिक्स से, एमफिल भी इकोनॉमिक्स से. फिर उस वक्त जो टॉपिक मैंने पीएचडी के लिए चुना विच वाज वेरी इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी. So then not many people at that time in the Department of Economics were keen to supervise a research where I intended to assess the socio-economic dependence of indigenous communities in living inside the forest, which was very very new at that point of time. Economic evaluation of natural resources नहीं होता था उस वक्त हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में. और फिर सो मजबूरी. Then somebody offered to guide me in the Department of Sociology, so that is why I ended up doing a PhD in sociology. And so I basically, my parent discipline is economics, so I have been teaching economics at Aligarh Muslim University. So I was working as a permanent faculty in Women's College, teaching my discipline, because my work is interdisciplinary. My entire research is interdisciplinary, and women's studies as a subject is a subject which is like based on interdisciplinarity, and therefore it was like that is one reason why I moved here. And as far as being director is concerned, nothing, no achievement as a director. That's just because I'm a professor here, so I happen to have that charge with me. So that is how my journey has been.
Ma'am, you have studied diverse subjects, so do you think there is an important role of liberal arts in today's technology-driven world?
See, however technology driven the world may be, until unless you are not familiar with the social, economic, political, historical, geographical reality of the world, you really cannot understand the situation and the surroundings and the environment. Being a human without a heart. So until unless you don't understand that what are the situations, or what were the situations prevailing because of which certain things happened, or because of which what we are experiencing today in our country is the outcome of many factors. So until unless, even if you're a technocrat and you don't understand the relevance of those things in shaping our present, it would be very unfortunate. So even though we have a world which is like mostly now dependent on technology, but it is important, and those people who have an understanding of the social, economic and political, geographical, historical issues, they would definitely make better technocrats, and they would be able to implement technology in a better way than those who are just so you basically become a technician if you don't really understand the social, political, economic situations.
So, what do you say about the double burden of women, which is considered as unproductive work at home and productive at outside? So, do you think it is functional?
The whole concept that what women do at home is unproductive, it is wrong. Because let's take the example of a mother, a homemaker. She's not going out to work. So when people say that if you're earning, then it is productive work. If you're not earning, it's unproductive. And a lot of people often say that if you ask them what does your wife do, so if she's not going for a job, they say she doesn't work. I mean, that is such a wrong concept. She's working at home.
Exactly, ma'am.
So although there is no monetary value or economic value being assigned to her work, but her contribution is very very important, because eventually if she was not cooking the food at home, you will hire somebody and you will pay someone. So she's saving the family that burden. If she was not taking care of the children, you would hire a babysitter or somebody to provide the child care, then you will pay for them. So she is taking care of that burden without you having to pay for it. So it is definitely not unproductive work. And in a way, by providing all this, and she would do that better than you can get from a hired help most of the time, because she's the mother, she's the wife, and she's also a daughter, like taking care of her elderly parents or in-laws, and even in the rural setting, taking care of the animals, helping the husbands in agricultural work, etc. Or in a artisan family, helping them with the, say, pot making, mat making, whatever. She is contributing in a big way.
Exactly.
So that work is not unproductive, right? It's a misnomer. And therefore, for past several years now, over a decade now, the economists are talking, especially the feminist economists are talking about that we need to assign a value to the work that women are doing.
Yes, ma'am.
And the reason that it's been said unproductive, therefore their status gets degraded, that she's a burden, she's not doing anything. She's not a burden, she's contributing without even taking anything in return. So
Yes.
saying that women are doing unproductive work is absolutely wrong. They are doing productive work wherever they are working.
Ma'am, what is your opinion about the scope of women studies as a discipline?
So it's actually, unfortunately, today we look at any discipline in terms of the kind of job market
Yes, ma'am.
that we can access, or the job opportunities we can access. So women studies a subject which basically looks at the gender disparities, the gender inequalities in the society, and tries to find ways to address those, or raises awareness about gender issues, is a discipline which has got a huge relevance in today's society, where we see that even in a country like India, where we are calling ourselves an emerging economy and all, we have a, a huge gender inequality, gender disparity almost in every area. And so women studies, as a discipline, students of women studies, or students who are offering this as an optional subject also, can, or what they call minor subject under the new education policy, can use their understanding of the gender issues in the society and have them addressed at every level. So students who go out from here are more aware about the gender issues, can talk about those issues, can raise awareness about those issues, and those who are studying this as a major subject have can get opportunities in the social sector especially. But apart from that, I'd also like to say that, see, today the job market is not the typical job market that my generation saw when we were growing up. So it was like engineering, medical, management, and that's it, right? There wasn't or education. So there wasn't a lot of interdisciplinarity at that time. Now there is lot of scope. So what we see even at our university, students from diverse backgrounds, even from, say, languages, uh, and not just foreign languages but generally languages, and from any discipline, say psychology, they're getting jobs in multinationals, because there are different types of job requirements, and those job requirements are not so rigorous and so not so watertight as they used to be, say, 20 years ago. So the job market is also very, very kind of mixed now, or rather the job opportunities or the qualifications that are required, they are not very, very watertight as they used to be earlier. So, and I think that students who really want to pursue something and they have women studies as a subject can do better than others, because they are also aware about gender issues, because they are studying about so many things pertaining to gender. So I think this is one discipline which can play a very important role in their having an edge over others where jobs are concerned.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, as you have shared that about your subject as economic sociology, so can you please share about the multidisciplinary academic excellence and in terms of degree inflation?
Uh, so as far as I'm concerned, I have not done multiple degrees at the same level.
Yes, ma'am.
So while my, as I said, while my graduation and my post graduation and MPhil has been in economics, the PhD has been in sociology out of compulsion. So it is not multiple degrees, same level degrees, and therefore after 5 minutes. So and therefore, the problem is that rather there's no problem as such, but the issue is that students might end up doing multiple degrees, waiting for jobs,
Yes, ma'am.
which can be problematic because this tend to waste their their potential years in kind of just pursuing multiple degrees. So what is important is that they a clarity needs to be developed
Yes, ma'am.
where they focus, like what is it that they want to do. However, under the new education policy, interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary qualifications have been emphasized by the government, and so students with diverse backgrounds uh, will hopefully have better opportunities. And the reason, like, see, you cannot study economics in isolation from what is happening in the society.
Yes, ma'am.
You cannot study society in isolation with the economic scenario. So we are all a product of our social, economic, political situations, as well as geographically where we are. What are the opportunities that are available to us? So understanding different subjects, having interdisciplinary understanding, multidisciplinary background, I'm sure it's going to be better and provide greater opportunities, provided students get a clarity on what is it that they want to pursue.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, as you and the Vice Chancellor of AMU, as a woman, you are fulfilling the Sir Sayyid's vision. So, what do you say about this?
I would not compare myself to the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Aligarh Muslim
As
University or any woman Vice Chancellor of any university, because I am just an academician. To become a Vice Chancellor, you need many more qualities. You should be a very good, able administrator. Should have an in-depth understanding of the functioning of an institution, etc., etc. But yes, as far as Sir Sayyid's dream or Sir Sayyid's vision was concerned, he wanted the community, the Muslim community, to become self reliant, to become educated. However, he did not really, at that point of time, lay emphasis on women's education primarily because I think he realized the society, the Muslim society, was not ready to accept women's education at that point of time. However, one of his students, Sheikh Abdullah, who's very fondly remembered as Papa Mia by all those of us who have been associated with women's college as students or as teachers, etc., was very keenly interested in women's education, and so he, Papa Mia, along with his wife Alabi, made very concerted efforts to bring education to women, and not just Muslim women. The objective, of course, was to provide access to education for Muslim women, but obviously, just like the Aligarh Muslim University, even women's college which was established, or rather initially it was the girls high school which was established by Papa Mia and Alabi, that provided education to girls, and they faced, as you must have heard, a lot of resistance from the community itself, and had to face a lot of problems also, but they continued to work for that. And so today what we have as an example is women's college, not just girls high school. Abdullah Nursery was of course established by his daughter, Mumtaz Jahan, the principal of women's college for a long time. So she established, I think, the school Abdullah Nursery, which is housed in Papa Mia's house, and so this is the vision of both Sir Syed as well as Papa Mia, to have the community educated, and specifically of Papa Mia, of having women and girls having access to education. has been to a large extent fulfilled. So, and being a professor, woman professor, or being a Muslim vice chancellor or a woman vice chancellor for university like our vice chancellor, we are in a minority. Most women still don't have access to education. The efforts that were made, the vision that was there, the dream that our founders had is still not complete. We do see a lot of girls now coming into higher education, but how many of them are going to be able to become self-reliant? So that will take a lot of time until young women like you also make an effort to raise awareness. So a lot of, as you know, this university is a residential university, so majority of the students are coming from far away places. They have no idea, those people in those places don't have any idea about the importance of education, or even if they have, they probably don't have the resources to send their daughters. For those who are in Aligarh and around Aligarh, it is easier for them to access education here. So therefore it's the dream or the vision is still, you know, incomplete. A lot of work needs to be done, and it is our responsibility, the responsibility of those who are you know, studying or working at AMU, to continue and take Sir Sayyid's work and Papa Mia's work forward. Only then can their dream be fully realized.
Ma'am, once when I was a student in biodiversity department, so you shared a lot of experience of research or field research especially, and those are very meaningful. So can you please share something for my viewers?
Regarding exactly what?
Like sociological research you have done, and once you also have shared about the for biodiversity conservation, like the pressure cooker you peoples have distributed, and those peoples have filled some.
Okay, not the pressure cookers. So basically, whenever policy is made, the whole problem with policy is that it's made by a certain section of the, you know, society, which are the bureaucrats, the people who are technocrats and bureaucrats and who are highly trained. However, until unless, and their intention is very good. However, until unless those who are a stakeholder, you know, like who the policy will impact, so those become the stakeholders. So until unless those people are not taken on board, however well intended the policy might be, however well intended the initiative might be, it might not be successful when it actually is implemented on ground. So the example that you're quoting is about, so when I was working in central India, under the eco development project, right, ecological development project, they had distributed solar cookers to the tribal people. Very nice. You want to reduce their dependence on fuel wood, which they are extracting from the forest, and distributing them solar cookers. Now solar cooker is not going to cook on its own.
Yes.
As you know, like if you are familiar with this solar cooker mechanism, it needs to be, you know, shifted in the direction of the sun.
Exactly.
So that the rays of the sun will continue to fall on the mirror that is there and heat up the box where the food is kept. Now if you look at the tribal life, so that means it needs constant monitoring from morning when the sun, when you put the food in it, till the food is cooked. Now if you look at the village way of life, or even the tribal, because tribal communities, most of them are living in the villages, if you look at their way of life, early morning they would, you know, kind of cook food, have something and pack their tiffins or, you know, food, and they will leave for work, whether they're going in their agricultural fields, or they're taking their cattle out to the forest, or they are going and working in somebody else's agricultural field, or they are going to work as laborers in some other location, or whatever, in some road building project or whatever. If every village, they are going to be away from the house the whole day. So who's going to go on shifting that, right? Until unless they have some member who's staying back. But For them, almost everybody seems to be going out and doing some work. Either somebody is going to collect fuel wood, or somebody is going to go and work somewhere else to earn a living. So it's not going to really work for them, and therefore most of these solar cookers was just lying idle. They were being used as a box for storing their clothes and working as a dressing table. If those who were making like wanted to do something to reduce dependence on forest for fuel wood, they should have taken these people into consideration and found out what best solution would suit them, which is not done. So most of the time it is like this, giving them solar lantern. All right. And another thing, in those areas, most of the time, like say in the forest, if it's an area which has a long monsoon spell, so for 3 4 months 5 months, if it's a longer monsoon spell, then again the solar cooker will not work because it's cloudy, overcast, etc. Similar thing is with the solar lights. If they are given in the village during the monsoon months, when it's even more critical because the nights are so dark because of clouds, it's even more critical because snakes and other insects are out, that the lights should be there. These solar lanterns don't work, or the solar lights don't work, because they are unable to recharge them. So then it becomes really problematic. So solutions, you know solutions which suit a particular area should be made, rather than just making a solution which they expect can be implemented anywhere. So instead of top down policy making, it should be bottoms up policy making process. And this is what I learned when I lived in the forest and did my field work, that most of the time these people are really not aware of what is being implemented, what is being provided, what is being sent to them, and therefore it doesn't it's not very effective.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Welcome. I hope I was able to answer your questions
Yes, ma'am.
to
Thank you
your
so much.